You ready to roll? Okay, so we left off. We're still trying to understand why only through a revelation of the Panemius of Torah will this spill into a change in the halachas of the Torah. And we started to explain, the sheets are out there, yeah, you can pass them around. We started to explain that let's look at how this plays out in a change of halacha in the future regarding the arguments of Shammai and Hillel. We said they argued for 3 years until a Baskol came out and said, Eilu be'eilu divrei Elokim chaim behalacha k'beis Hillel. Right? Until the Baskol came and said that halacha goes like Hillel. We said, why are we listening to the Baskol? If it's from heaven, just doing a quick review, we said we don't usually listen to Torah lo b'shamayim. We don't listen to the voices of heaven. Why in this case do we listen to the voice of heaven? Who remembers? Noam?
Rabbi Hill is the majority. And Rabbi Shammai does much, the participants for Rabbi Shammai are much smarter on average. So
Right.
we're thinking maybe we should do an exception to going according to the majority, which is how we rule on earth. So, but Paul fact just confirmed that we should actually use these.
Very good. So in other words, when do we not listen to the Baskol? When it's telling us to go against the rules of Torah. In this case, they just had a suffix whether they should go according to the rules of Torah or not, because Shammai was so brilliant. And so when they heard the Baskol to get out of their suffix, they were just nervous about it. They didn't want to make the call, and they were given this go-ahead from Shammai. Okay.
I know the prophets could break the rules of the Torah sometimes, like when they brought the Mizbeach outside or something like that.
Temporarily, and there was no prophet involved in this situation to begin with. This is just a voice from heaven.
Okay.
And even a prophet that's going to come, he's not going to make a psak din for all the ages. He's just going to come and tell them they have like a one-time permissibility in a particular mitzvah that they can go against. So in general, we don't listen to the voice of heaven unless the Torah tells us to, like in such a case. So then we said, in order to understand this, let's just look at a whole bigger conversation, which is that we went through how we learned this out from a verse in the Midrash, but in short, what we wound up saying in the end is that when Moshe went up the mountain, he saw 49 ways that Hashem showed him that something could be tameh or tahor, 49 ways it could be puzzle, or 49 ways it could be kosher. In other words, he saw the whole basically mind of God opening up for him, and he said, what are we supposed to do? Ribono shel olam. How are we supposed to paskin? It doesn't make sense. And what was the answer? Hashem told him, Achri Rabbi Mahatos, you're going to go after the majority. And this is basically the idea that's why Eilu be'eilu divrei Elokim chaim. There's many, many truths, but we go according to the way the Torah tells us to paskin, according to the majority. If the majority say it's tameh, pure. Let's take it from inside. Page 182, the first column. And we're going to start with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the bottom of that column. There's a little dash there. It says, Shekama v'kama me'nyani Torah kafisha mitzad atzma. Many, many things in Torah, as they are, so to speak, in their own domain, meaning in the chachmasu shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how Hashem understands their wisdom. Yichol liyos be'eso fanim hefchim. They can be, let me switcheroo. They can be in two completely opposite ways. And they're both true. So how do we know which way to actually go? It's according to Daitam B'sichlam Shel Chachmi Yisrael, according to the mind and the intelligence of the Jewish people, the wise men of Israel. Kedas Haro, we go according to the majority. Kefi Ros Einehem, as it says, in accordance to the way their eyes see it, because Ein Lo Dayin Elama She'einav Ro'os. There's basically a law that the judge can only paskin in accordance with the way he sees it. You can't just sort of like make your opinion based on what your friend next to you says, right? You have to really understand the halacha the way you understand it and vote in accordance with the way you understand it. So therefore, some people are going to understand it this way, some people are going to understand it that way. They're going to go according to the majority of the people that understand it the way they do. B'chol davar b'davar lefi inyano, everything in accordance with its own inyan. The Rabbi has an interesting footnote 55 here. It's not like totally connected to the body of the text, but it's just an interesting addition to this conversation.